Did you always want kids?
Well, first, I just want to say that overcoming sleep deprivation is a new superpower that are acquiring because I've been here for 3 years in this fatherhood game and I still ain't got no sleep. My kids are waking me up in the middle of the night
So you're
or
telling me this is what I
or
got to expect for the next 3 years?
no, no, you're not gonna get a break until I people tell me 4 or 5 years old, but I don't even know. But then they told me something different. They said once they get that age, then they stop taking naps. So they
Oh,
might I
yeah.
might get some more sleep during the morning, but they'll tire you out. They'll tire you out during the day.
Hey, what up, everybody? This is Jayton Gunter, owner of Grapes and Sand Publishing, and we have another episode of Drinking with Dads. This is a show where I give fathers their flowers.
Hey, what up, y'all? Jayton Gunter here, owner of Grapes and Sand Publishing. And we have another episode of Working Title, Drinks with Dads. We have a wonderful guest on today named Nick Nguyen. We're going to get into his story very soon and what he's doing. Really quick, Nick, can you say what's up so they can see you?
What up, yo? Boy.
This is my guy right here. So we're going to get into him, but just so you know the premise of the show, I feel the need to share this because this is our first season of this. The premise of this show is I want to give fathers their flowers. Basically, I've realized that a lot of times in media, fathers are kind of overlooked. No diss to the moms, they are the killers. They are the ones who are the backbone of the household. We look up to them, but I like to put some eyes on the fathers and what we bring to society, what we do, and especially minority fathers. We don't have a lot. We definitely don't get portrayed right in the media, in my opinion. And so I wanted to bring on some people that I know are really good fathers and just discuss their fatherhood, their journey, what's going on with their family, and maybe I can learn something since I'm a new father. So that's the premise of this show. Of course, so normally I allow the father to pick what we're drinking. Today we got some alcohol, thank God. We're talking about Sauvignon Blanc. We're talking about the King Maui Marlborough New Zealand 2022 Sauvignon Blanc. Nick loves Sauvignon Blanc. This is his juice. Like whether it's Sancerre, whether it's New Zealand, it doesn't matter. He loves his Sauvignon Blanc. So we're sipping. Cheers, bro. Thanks for being on my show real quick.
Cheers, brother. I'm gonna pour
Cheers.
myself a glass, just open the bottle.
For sure, man. Well, I hope my speaker's not picking that up. My speaker. Cheers, bro. I hear the baby crying downstairs. Yeah, he's going at it. Anyway, so we're talking to my boy Nick Nguyen today. Nick, we've been friends for over 20 years. This is my guy. He's one of the few people I can have really, really deep conversations with, or just really, really surface stuff about sports and just having fun and talking shit. It's one of my favorite people in the world, if you could believe that. And I thank you again for being on the show. My first question, my friend, is what was the last gift you got for Father's Day? I always ask this because I know a lot of times we're overlooked and we don't remember. And I just have to ask you, do you even remember the last gift you got for Father's Day?
Well, first of all, want to say what's up to you and everybody, and I want to thank you for having me on. I love what you're doing. I support you, and man, you, I think, give me as much guidance and support in my life as well as fun as you say I do. So I just want to give you your props too.
Bro, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
As for Father's Day gift, so first of all, I'm brand new to this. It's my first time being a father. I do have two kids, but they're both very young, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, two boys. And I guess for the past three Father's Day, I cannot remember one goddamn thing I have ever gotten.
I knew it.
And the funny thing is, though, I don't even ask for much. So I probably just wanted day off to go watch football, drink some wine, and take a nap or something like that. And that's what I got if I had to give my best guess, but I can't remember like any special gift or my wife took me out or anything because even though we're blessed, we got a house, we got a babysitter, all kind of stuff, but we ain't got time. We ain't got time to. I don't
I
know.
feel you,
I don't
man.
blame my wife either, for not like, or my kids. They're still. It's still a challenge.
You're still so young. Yeah, you don't expect it.
Surviving every day is a challenge.
Brother. I'm learning that. I thought I had every time I think I have it together with him. Like every time I think I got him figured out and I, sleeping and all this stuff, because I'm a stay-at-home father. I'm basically doing this a lot. I'm at home all the time with him. And I'm working my business from home. So I'm kind of balancing out work and him. And the whole time I'm home, like I'm trying to like read cues. I'm like, okay, so he's doing this now. I can tell when he's starting to get tired right here. So this is when I need to jump in and get him to sleep and all this stuff. And this is how I do it, where I know he's not going to fight sleep, because if you know my son, he's a fighter. He does not like to sleep. He's like I was it's like staring into a mirror sometimes. When I was young, I hated sleeping and I would fight, and it's still true to this day. To be honest with you, I don't like to sleep too much. But this kid is making me yearn for some rest. Like he's keeping me up like crazy, and it's just one of those things where like I'm learning on the fly. I'm figuring it out as much as I can. He's young like yours are. And I'm just trying to figure out. I never get it. I never totally get it right. And I'm starting to accept that I'm just not going to get it right. It's just going to be a daily progression forward to try to get better at parenting.
Stay tuned. Drinking with Dads will be right back. I've just created a show called Drinking with Dads, and I'm a wine dad, like a regular dad, but aged. To pick up your own V-neck, go to the link in my bio or fruitandglassgear.etsy.com. Cheers. Now back to the show.
Did you always want kids?
Well, first, I just want to say that overcoming sleep deprivation is a new superpower that you are acquiring, because I've been here for 3 years in this fatherhood game, and I still ain't got no sleep. My kids are waking me up in the middle of the night.
So you're telling me this is what I have to expect for the next 3 years?
No, you're not going to get a break until people tell me 4 or 5 years old, but I don't even know. But then they told me something different. They said once they get that age, then they stop taking naps. So I might get some more sleep during the morning, but they'll tire you out during the day. So I myself, by the way, I'm still learning from other elder fathers out there who know better, because like I'm still a beginner in this game. But anyway, I'm sorry. What was your question again? I missed it.
Oh, was kids always in the cards for you? Did you always want kids? Were you always like, I'm going to have kids one day?
I was brainwashed that
Explain that.
I grew up watching the Brady Bunch.
Oh shoot!
See,
now
I'm
you're
dating
aging us.
I'm dating you guys. I grew up watching. There was a TV show called Just the 10 of Us.
I remember.
Do you remember? And they had 10 kids.
Yep.
So I wanted a big family. I had a brother and a sister, but my parents they each had 8 or 9 brothers or sisters.
Wow.
And I have 120 something first cousins. So I grew up in a big family.
120?
First cousins, yeah, because I have my mom has 8 brothers and sisters. My dad has 9 brothers and sisters, and almost all of them live in the Bay Area.
Oh my God! I mean, I've been to your family functions. I didn't know all those were first cousins. That's crazy.
They're all thick in the blood, man. So I always wanted a big family until I had my first, and then I was just like, I'm done.
You're like, this is too much work.
This is a lot harder than it looks like.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, let me ask you this. So you and I again, guys, I know the answers to a lot of these questions, but I want you guys to get a feeling, get an understanding of Nick. Are you still with the mother? You guys married, co-parenting? What's going on?
Oh yeah, I'm completely in love and we're happily married. We fight a lot as normal
He doesn't.
couples do, mostly about stupid shit when we're both um not sleeping, you know. So
Yep,
that's why I
that's
said
when it happens.
the sleep is the thing that kills you.
Yes,
Um
that's definitely real.
yeah, we've been married for 5 years, and one of the biggest reasons why I married her was because I knew she'd be a good mom
Mhm.
to our kids and stuff like that. So I actually give her most of the credit for raising our kids.
So, with that being said, are your parenting like what is? Let me ask you this: what is your parenting style? And why I'm asking this is like, so your background is Vietnamese, right? All right.
Yeah.
Are you traditional, like parenting style of like a traditional Vietnamese man, or are you like I'm gonna do it the way I do it, or is it like what do you think?
I'm probably middle of the road. I mean, I think like gentle parenting and not saying no to kids is bullshit.
I agree.
But
I'm not gonna lie, I do.
but I also grew up the opposite way where my in a traditional Asian household, like I was beat, like I was hit with the fist, with the palm, with the stick, you know what I mean? And like the and I didn't want to do that either. So I try to get advice from my friends. I try to observe my friends or my cousins who had kids earlier than I am, who
Mhm.
I have, and like who I respect their parenting style. So I just honestly I copy them. I try to read books, and honestly I let my wife take the lead on this. She's a lot more involved than I am.
Mhm.
She is she's also like reading the books. She's trying to her and I both kind of like read this book. I forgot the name, but it's a Montessori style. So I guess we were kind of like in the beginning we're Montessori style. We don't even use a crib, you know, like the baby sleeps on the floor. We try to go for independence. We want the kids
Interesting.
to have a love of learning. Um, we want them to learn how to do things on their own so that you know, like they grow faster and they want to grow on their own without us having to tell them to do those things.
Could you do me a favor and send me the title of that book when you get
Yeah,
a
yeah,
chance? That's
yeah,
interesting to me. You know, I'm all about the education stuff, and so is she. Like, you know, she worked in education for 20 years. She's still in education, and
yeah.
so that's something that I'm really interested in. I'm really interested in that. Is your style, you and her style, different? And like, what I mean by this is it like, are you more the disciplinary? Is she like the disciplined person? Who's like the more nurturing person between the two of you? Like, are your styles differ? Are you guys play good cop, bad cop? Like, what is it? Or you guys both do
That,
both?
that's a great question. I'm probably she's a bad cop. I'm a good cop. She's with the kids most of the time because she's a stay-at-home mom, so
Mhm.
she has to lay down the law. And you know, I'm the typical dad who hugs and kisses their kids before he goes to work, leaves, comes back. They say, "Daddy, Daddy," and I run around, play with them. And then when it's time for them to like eat or brush their teeth, I'm like, "All right, mom, your turn."
So it is kind of traditional a little bit. It's kind of traditional the way you guys are set up.
I mean, um, more or less, but I mean, I'm also joking.
I know you
I did take her late. She's like, we have like, she's actually pretty tough. Like we have zero screens in the house, or we have like TV and phones, but like we have a zero screen policy. Like we don't watch TV when the kids are around. We don't
are.
use we put our phones away.
Dang.
We eat together as a family, even though like the food like their food is bland and their eating time is boring, but you know you know I'm doing it for the team, right? And yeah, all those things, those routines are very important for the kids to not go batshit crazy.
I feel that. I
So
feel that.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, she does most of the disciplining, and they look to me more for like
But
fun and comfort and stuff.
I got a fun question for you. When you guys had the kids, did you feel that you got all the partying out of your system? I know how you used to get down back in the day. I remember the old days when we all used to go out. And I know you were in New York for a long time. By the time you had a kid, were you like, you know what, I've arrived. I don't need the partying life anymore. I don't need to be out anymore. Or does it still kind of put a bug up your little behind and be like, yo, we need to get out. I'm going stir crazy up in here.
So I had Evan when I was 40, 41 years old. So for sure, I thought, yeah, I sowed my oats. I got the clubbing and the partying, the traveling out of my system.
Yeah.
I'm ready to settle down. And then I had kids and I had to stay home every day, no sleep, eating, same routine, sleeping, napping, same park, same walks. Man, I got, excuse my language, I got bored as fuck, man. I needed to go out, do something. I needed to do something like a normal adult, sociable,
Yeah.
friend that I was like, and I'm not even asking for much. I don't need to go back to the club. I can't even stay up past 11 p.m. anymore. Okay. Like I'm in bed. I am in bed by 10 p.m. But no, I would like, instead of having, cleaning up food off my kitchen floor, I would like to go to a nice restaurant every now and then, which,
Yeah.
I have to schedule that to be able to even do that once a month now,
Yeah.
I have to schedule a date night with my wife. Otherwise, we get stuck in the routine of just like giving the kids baths and putting them to sleep and stuff,
It's so funny you say that. This has been 6 months now, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not going stir crazy, but I need to do some adult stuff. It's hard, bro. It's hard because you're right. It becomes monotonous. You're doing the same walks every single day. You're going to the same parks every single day. You try to come up with something like stuff that like I'm exercising now every day. Because it starts with the walk, and then we walk over to the gym, and then we go to the basketball court, and I shoot around a little bit because I haven't done that in years. I wanted to get back to that. I didn't want to be this old man because I had this kid at 42. I didn't want to be this old man when he's ready to play sports. I can't even move around because I'm older. So I was like, I got to figure out a way to stay young and spry. So that's what I've been doing. But that gets tiresome. Meditation helps a lot, to be honest with you. Kind of helps me set my day right. But I was kind of doing that maybe once a week before. I'm every day now, meditation every day because I need something to get my mind right because this loop would be driving me crazy. But in the back of my head, I still want to go out. I need dinner. Like, remember when we used to go to dinners? I miss dinners with adults. I miss having adult conversation. I miss having conversation that did not revolve around your kids. Although it's going to come up because we have kids and stuff, you know what I mean? But I don't want that to be the focal point of the conversation with people that have kids like me, you know what I mean? So I feel you on that. I got a question for you.
It's just about balance, and it's about outlets, you know what I'm saying? So we need to have our own personal outlets for self-expression, for release, right? And a little bit of balance. It can't be just us sacrificing all the time, otherwise we're gonna go crazy. Although, bless up and props to all the single parents or the parents who have no choice but to stay home to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
But, we wish upon all that some time for themselves too, because that's the only way we all get through it.
Stay tuned. Drinking with Dads will be right back. The Dream Team are a manhood development program that plays basketball. Their focus is getting the boys to be better individuals and leaders in the community while making them excellent basketball players. While most AAU programs cost over $5,000 a year, they are free for families and provide uniforms, warm-ups, shoes, and educational learning events. So they need money. To donate or hear more about the program, go to www.dreamteamantioch.org. Cheers. Now back to the show.
Well, that's my next question, though. And kind of like you just said, just leads me into my next question. Um, what do you do in your free time that does not involve your wife? Like no kids, just you. When you need to blow off some steam, or you need to just have your time to yourself to kind of just enjoy yourself. Like, what is it that you do that really like just brings you joy that does not revolve around your kids or your wife?
Cocaine and hookers mostly.
Oh man, that doesn't even sound like you. I would never see that think of that about you ever.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking. So it's actually not about what I like to do. It's me and my wife have this thing where we agree that it's not our former selves. It's our current selves. It's who we are. Is that like before my wife became a mom, she was a nurse. She worked a full-time job. She had friends. She went out. She traveled with her best friends, and she met up with her coworkers on birthdays and things like that. And so did I. I had my own business, my own coworkers, my own friends, my own social life and stuff like that. And of course, with the kids, they come first.
Of course.
And we rarely have the time to go back and do those things. But when we do, we take turns. So I'll tell her, we'll look at the calendar ahead and I'll be saying like, yo, it's Jayton's birthday, or it's my birthday, or it's Super Bowl coming up, or the Warriors are playing this day or whatever. And I'll say like, I want this night off, or I'm going to go have dinner with my friends. And she's just said, cool, I'll stay home, take care of the kids.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. She goes like, my friends are going to Cabo for a bachelorette party, or my friend's having a baby shower, or it's my birthday. And I'll be like, go, travel, meet up with your friends, or tell them to come over. I'll take care of the kids. You go out and stuff like that. So
That's dope.
our outlets for our own self release and balance and just self-care is just actually doing things that we would normally do if we didn't have kids.
Got you. Something that brings
it's nothing crazy. Sometimes it's just meeting up with you and our other homies for a drink and watching some sports and having dinner.
That's me too. We do this thing where she gives me once a week nowadays. It's Fridays are my days that I can just, when she gets home from work, she has to pump, of course, because she's still breastfeeding. But after she pumps, I go. What I normally do is I go to cigar bar. There's only one thing to do in Fremont, in my opinion, and that's this Alot cigar bar. So I go there, and although I should be chilling out and watching the game, being honest with you, I bring my laptop and I work because it's peace and quiet. So I get to work there with my cigar. I bring some scotch with me or some wine, and I'm sitting there for like 3 or 4 hours just enjoying myself, catching the game, but also working the whole time. But it's work that I love to do. You know me. I'm a writer. I love writing. I love editing and all that stuff. So I'm sitting there editing projects, writing the whole time, and enjoying myself. And I need that release. I get that Friday night, and that's been helping me out a lot. And it was her idea, which I appreciate her, like kind of understanding, having foresight to understand that I needed a release, because it was just me and that kid for a minute, like every single day. What is the funniest situation your son or your kids have, either one of them, have put you in? Like, I know you guys travel a lot. Has there been anything on the flights that has happened that's been funny, or like a blowout diaper in the middle of like some weird? Like, give me a story. I'm curious. You're like all of it.
I'll give you two. Try to make them quick. One was we were flying on an airplane back from Mexico. It was a short flight, relatively 3 hours, but my eldest son, he was maybe 2 years old. He cried the whole time. Like, maybe he wasn't even 2, like 1.5, but he cried the whole time. But it was like loud crying.
Yeah.
And we came prepared. It's not like we didn't know what we were doing. Like, we got the milk, we got the snacks, we got the cocoa melon, we got the YouTube videos, we got the books, we got toys. Dude, some strangers were feeling bad for us, and they were giving us candy. A lot of people were giving us dirty ass looks and turning their heads every 5 minutes, like this fucking kid and shit like that. So for almost 2.5 hours, I had to hold my kid in the back of the airplane where by the bathrooms where it kind of drowned it out, but he was still
Going at it.
loud enough. People way in the front were like looking back and stuff like that. So um, to take their like negative energy and kind of deflect it onto me, I started to try to switch the situation. I started yelling at my son. I was like, when we get home, you're gonna get a whooping, like the worst, beat your ass. You don't stop crying. And then when I started doing that, people started like they stopped looking because they started to feel like scared and kind of like ashamed of me and stuff, right? And I was like, cool,
We're
it's
gonna call
working.
we're gonna call CPS on you, bro. Hey, if you would have been a black person, it would have been over for you. No way. If black dad would have pulled down with his kid, by the time I got off that flight, they would have been like, yo, they would have been at the gate. Your kid is not in a safe environment, or they take him away from you.
And then more, even worse one was one time, it was like 11:50 a.m. and we were waiting to board a train that was arriving at 12 noon. Mm-hmm. And this wasn't a train where if I missed a train, I could get on the next one. So we had to make this train. Mm-hmm. I was holding my youngest son, and I looked down to my older son. He was taking a nap in the stroller, and I saw water dripping out of the stroller. And I looked closer, and I realized we did put a diaper on him. He fell asleep. He pissed his pants. The entire stroller was drenched in urine.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just dripping with excess fucking urine at the train station. And I was looking at my wife and I was like, yo, Evan's pissed in his pants and it went all over the stroller. And she's looking at me with she looked like she was terrified. She was shocked. She's like, and I was like, what happened? And I was holding my younger son, and out of his diaper, shit was like crawling up his back. Wait, hold on. It wasn't a straight up blowout, but he was like pooping as I was holding him, and the diaper couldn't hold all the poop, so it was just like slowly coming out. So I had like a shit situation, I had a piss situation, and we had 10 minutes to fucking run to the bathroom, change diaper, wipe down the stroller, and then change the clothes, put everything into a plastic bag, run with everything, and catch the train. And I was like, fuck kids, I'm never doing this ever again.
That was it for you. That was the line right there.
Yeah. Of course, we travel all the time now. It's just whatever. That shit happens, right?
Shit happens. That was two good, really, really good stories. Your father was in your life the whole time. As growing up and him being your father and actually being the father figure, because a lot of kids don't have their fathers in their lives. Was there anything any lessons he gave you prior to having your kids, or even after, that you take with you that you're like, this was great advice? Is there anything that he gave you that you're like, this is amazing advice, that you really kind of were like, yo, I'm using this with my kids?
Honestly, no. I mean, my dad is a great man who's also very complicated and flawed. He came to this country as an immigrant. He worked his ass off to provide for us. And so I respect him and admire him for giving me and my brothers and sisters the life that we got. And but the truth is that honestly, I didn't see him most of my life growing up. He was a salesman. He was in the insurance business, and he traveled more than half the year. And even when he was at home with us, he actually was working all the time. So I actually didn't have any resentment of him at the time because I grew up in Silicon Valley. All my neighbors both of their parents work. My friends didn't see their parents that much either. So
Mm,
I thought that was a normal situation. But as I grew older, I realized that he's a happy man now, not because he's
mhm.
successful financially, but because he did what he wanted to do.
I got you.
And he had his goals and he achieved them. And I actually see that in you. Like
Mm,
you have a lot of projects, you're doing a lot of creative work, and you have a kid, you're taking care of your kid, and yet you're still pumping out the podcasts and the posts and writing and recording and stuff like that. Like you're doing what you love. And so my dad did what he loved, and actually, like that's what I will teach my son is that, like, you know, it's great that you're my son and you have a brother, and like both you guys, I just you guys should just follow your dreams and do it, you know, follow your
mm.
goals and pursue them and achieve them and stuff like that. So um I'll be
Are
honest,
you?
my dad, so the answer is like no, my dad didn't actually give me much parental advice because he didn't give me parental advice and he didn't actually like really parent me growing up, but he gave
Mhm.
me an example um, of a life to follow. You know what I'm
Got
saying?
you.
Stay tuned. Drinking with Dads will be right back.
I'm the author of the Man Book. The Man Book was created so that every man has a chance to become great. If you look at the stats, men that grew up without a father have a harder chance trying to become great because of their father's choices and their father's choices. The Man Book is here to break that cycle so that every man has that chance.
The Man Book, helping boys become men with something as simple as tying a tie. Also being a father, fashion, how to love. This is a book that you need on your shelf. It will help you and it will help people that you love. Get it by going to dreamteamantioch.org. Cheers. Now back to the show.
Are you? So I know a lot of people who their kids after themselves, or and maybe it's just because you want them to pass on line. Maybe you're a junior and you want a third or whatever. But like um, when they do that, a lot of times I've noticed that they not my boys so much, but the people that I've noticed outside of my friend group, they tend to push certain ways they want their kid to be. You want your kid to be an individual, it seems like your kids, you want your kids to be like their own selves. You're not, it doesn't feel like you're pressing them to be like they have to be this type of person. You know, am I correct in bringing that in feeling that from what you just said?
Yeah. Just in contrast, you'll see like whatever I describe is probably like very traditional. Like
Hmm.
dad goes out to work, mom
Hmm.
stays home and takes care of the kids. That was my family growing up. And as growing up too, my parents, very typical Asian, wanted us to get good grades, and there's certain professions they want to go us to go into, like doctor or lawyer or engineer or something like that.
Hmm.
I guess in reaction against that, like I'm totally cool if my kids want to be a professional skateboarder or if I
Hmm. I
whatever
think,
they want to be. I don't even care. You know what I mean? I just want. I used to say, as long as you don't get thrown in jail or or get someone pregnant, I don't really care what you do. Now I'm even more liberal. If you get thrown in jail, that sucks.
yeah,
You got a criminal record, but you'll
yeah,
live.
you'll
And
live.
and if you get someone pregnant, oh shit, I guess you
Grandpa Nick,
got other duties now. You know?
Grandpa Nick.
But I guess it speaks to a deeper philosophy that like like my kids didn't ask to be born,
Yeah,
I wanted them. And
agreed.
since me and my wife wanted them and we tried really hard to have kids, then it's our responsibility to take care of them until they could help themselves. Well,
Yeah,
once they can help themselves, whatever that age may be, whether it's like 18, 21, or 12, then they're their own individual person, right?
yeah.
Like who am I to tell them, what to do or what not to do? as well, I guess if they're living in my house, I'm paying for shit. I could tell them what to do. But if they're like taking care of their own stuff, like I have no, I don't think I have much say, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And
Absolutely agree with that.
and if now I would prefer that, well, I would hope that my raising of them makes them not shitty people, and
Yeah,
I would prefer that whatever they do has some purpose in life, and I would prefer that it's like fulfilling to them
of
and
course.
also helpful to people
Hmm.
for sure. But um, I'm not going to be one of those parents who get disappointed if they don't become a doctor, you know?
I feel that. Well, we're at the end, and I got to ask you my last question. I ask every single guest on my show. Um, I'm a new father. If there was one piece of advice you could give me, what would that be?
You know, it has nothing to do with fatherhood, or maybe it has a lot to do with it. It's actually just keep that love and romantic love with your wife. I actually believe that um, even more important than you being a father is being a good husband to your wife.
Agreed.
Because if you two are good, then the family and the kids good.
I love
So
that.
make time for those date nights. Hire a babysitter if you have to, or ask like a relative or a friend if they could babysit, so you could take your wife out on a date or something like that, so that you guys can talk to each other, um, hold hands, make love, keep
Yeah,
that, because right now is the hardest time when you guys don't have time for yourselves or each other, but you have to
yeah,
make that time. So that's the only thing I would say, because I've gotten into a lot of fights with my wife during the first two kids, and I just realized things got a lot better with the kid when I'm better with my wife.
yeah.
So,
We guys are on the same page, right?
so yeah, and but also not just like about parenting, about us, like I love you. I'm so glad to be with you. I want to be with you forever and stuff, you know?
Yeah. It's funny you say that. We're our anniversary is this weekend, 16 years, Saturday, and so yeah, we this is the first year ever. Me and her always plan like we go away somewhere. It's the first year ever that I didn't realize our anniversary was coming up until the last week of September, and I was like, "Am I not checked out? I don't feel like I'm checked out. I feel like I'm still in it, but am I that busy with the kid every single day that I have totally forgotten?" And I felt really guilty. And she's fine. She's like, we understand we're doing this together. We understand what's going on. But because the way I am, I was raised a certain way. You know what I mean? And so like when I didn't realize that the anniversary was coming, I was just like, okay, I gotta figure out something. You know what I mean? So we're not really doing nothing crazy, but we're not even going overnight, but we're gonna have a day trip to like, and to go hiking and like, just hang out, have a nice dinner and nice lunch and all that stuff. But like this is the first year in 16 years that I've this kid, man. It's crazy.
Right?
This kid is like sucked all my energy and also like took all my like my forethought and things that I was always good at, just taking it out of the equation. I'm figuring it out though, and I'm happy that it's no distance. I love my kid. It's just, you know, it's different now. You know what I mean?
It's
So I'm adjusting.
it's gonna get easier,
Yeah.
and you're doing a great job so far. Honestly,
Thank you.
I see it. Other people have told me the same when they see you with a kid. Man, I've seen you with a kid, your wife with a kid. You guys are great.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let me pour a little bit more. I want to say cheers to you, and I want to thank you, really, man. I know you're not a camera person like this, but I really do appreciate you being on my podcast slash show. Like I had to have you on my first season. Like you're one of the few people that we think alike when it comes to like our private time, and like we're adults. We like to go out and have wine and have good food together and have great conversation. That's just me and you. And I had to see how you adjusted to the whole thing of being a father, with still having wanting to do those things. And so that's why I brought you on, because I was like, you're one of those people that have been, I noticed, has been able to balance it out. As I see your guys' Instagram posts where you guys are traveling around the world and stuff. it's beautiful. I aspire to be like that one day, and I'm setting up my life to be like that eventually. So cheers to you, bro. I appreciate you, Nick.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, brother.